And now for part 2. But first, a word from our sponsors. As a photographer, Rowan captures the beauty and serenity of nature through their inspiring work, offering prints and products that infuse calming energy into your living space. A core value of Rowan's artist's vision is supporting environmental protection at the community level. That's why a percentage of profits from every single sale goes directly to local nature and conservation charities. By giving back in this way, Rowan, with your help, preserves the natural spaces which inspire this photography and makes a positive impact. A special 10% discount for Revamptees is Re-Vamped Pod, capital REVAMPED, capital POD, all one word. We're also doing a giveaway of a super adorable photo of a squirrel taken by Rowan. This giveaway is open to every one of our Patreon members. Message us in the Patreon chat if you want to be included in the random drawing for this gorgeous print. And check out Rowan's work on redberryphotos.com. Angel is revealed lurking in Jenny's office. I'm going to take back my yay from earlier to my no. He recites the Latin inscribed on the school. Sire Rebecca, as you have illustrated, you know Latin. Apparently, he says the incorrect Latin phrase, which was corrected in the Italian version of Passion. Yes. Also, Angel has been at the school since he changed.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, so I don't know about that. But can you recite both of the Latin phrases?
He says, Formatia trans secra educorum, which isn't correct. The Italian version corrects the Latin and changes it to ingredit vos qui sensus querits.
Bravo. It means, enter all ye who seek knowledge. Ye includes Angel. He hurls the orb. Ye hurls the orb. And it smashes. He destroys the computer and he burns the printout. Ye burns the printout. Ye can stop that now. Ye. When Angel is harassing Jenny, you can see a sign that reads, remember to back up your files. It has been vandalized to read, remember to hack up your files. The chase is really intense. So many doors are locked. Yee-hoo.
No.
No. Seriously, Drew. Seriously. It's so sad when Angel snaps Jenny's neck. We feel that pull that all great stories induce. But she was so close. She and Giles were reconnected and going to have a nice relationship. She was gonna restore Angel's soul. Angel would be back, and Buffy, even if she chose not to be with him, she'd be in less pain. All of these almosts, all of these so closes. Jenny lied to Giles, but we know she had a good heart, and she was on our side. Not our side.
But our side.
Yes. This is a prime example of the show subverting our expectations. I did not expect this when I first read the script.
Angel again drags out the inevitable. Instead of turning her or even feeding off her, her punishment is a brutal end.
Did you expect it the first time you watched the show?
No, I kept thinking that somehow she would figure out a way to block him. And I think that's how the chase plays out. You keep thinking she's going to get away, and then at the last minute, you forget. He's faster and stronger, so of course he's going to win.
Yeah. It's sadistic, horrendously cruel. If this was now, there would be a lot of hullabaloo. Good choice of word. To keep the storyline from leaking. Willow gives Giles back the book with the spell that worked to disinvite Angel into Buffy's house. It was the book that Jenny gave Giles. Aw. In a way, she saves Joyce because it's her book that revokes Angel's entry, if he was going to kill her.
Giles offers to speak to Joyce about Buffy and Angel's sexual encounter, but then realizes he doesn't really have the words. The father figure in him wants to help and protect Buffy, but he gets the complicated personal moment needs to be between mother and daughter, thanks to Willow's subtle response.
Joyce and Buffy have their heart-to-heart. This conversation shows authentic love, not romantic, but the essence of unconditional love. Very different from obsession. Typical and jealous to go for the drama to set up a big fool.
Meaning the rose, the music, and the champagne?
Giles thinks Jenny is making a romantic gesture. He goes inside with soaring expectations, sees the note which reads upstairs. Candles and more roses adorn the steps. My boy goes all out. The sequence really builds up the terribleness because the audience is ahead of what he'll find. The opera music playing is from Puccini's La Bohème. The specific recording features tenor Jonathan Welch and soprano Luba Organzova. Jonathan was not aware that his performance had been used on the show until one of his daughters saw the episode and told him about it. No one from the recording company had informed him, but he was delighted.
It's the same music used in Moonstruck.
Yeah, in a very romantic setting. In the opera, it's the romantic closing duet of Act 1, where poet Rodolfo and seamstress Mimi realize that they've fallen in love. The music not only lulls Giles into anticipation of something wonderful, it acts as a contrast to the horror of the scene. Tony's close-up, the drop of the bottle right on the crescendo of the music, is powerful.
It's a sensitive way of showing Jenny's body. The framing doesn't glorify her death, but allows the emotion to be felt through Giles's reaction.
All of the hoopla was wrapping for the gift.
I think we're expecting them to shoot it from a high angle, so we can really see everything laid out and see how she's displayed there. And the choice to bring the camera down to Giles's level and really just see her almost like she's sleeping as opposed to her death, thus turning to Giles and just really allowing for the heartbreak to tell us that she's gone. It was a really smart choice.
When you're saying that, it's also making me think about the fact that because it's on his level, it forces the audience to be witnessing it through his eyes. So we have the anticipation where we know what's going to happen because we're ahead of Giles, but then we're through his perspective by being on his level, re-experiencing it again and experiencing it through his horror of finding it out and in this way that's such a toxic display.
Yeah. She's laid out to look pretty peaceful in this moment. And only if we were in that room would we know that she was gone and not just resting.
And her open stare.
Yes.
Angel's voiceover comes in again as we watch Buffy and Willow from outside through the curtain. They're innocent. They don't know what's happened. Angel is outside watching the phone call. They hooked up the phones so the actors could actually hear one another and react off of one another while they were shooting this sequence. Angel revels in seeing Buffy's reaction. Again, he's creating a loss of innocence with her. He likes witnessing her pain. He likes witnessing Willow's sobs.
You can tell Buffy feels responsible. The weight of all her actions and inactions lay on her shoulders.
It was time for Angel to ration the passion. But this isn't passion. Passion is healthy. This is obsession. So slashing is not passion? No. Harassing is not passion?
It is not.
Ah, you're crashing my worldview. I know. You were taught that love is painful, that love is obsession, that negative attention means that Angel cares. It's not, and it doesn't.
No.
I feel quite ashen. Angel's continuing monologue and the actual title, Passion, yes, shows that he's unaware that his perceptions are out of step. He elevates his obsession to a virtue, characterizing it as passion. I feel confused. My thoughts are screaming, all jumbled and jivey. Adapting new perspectives can take some time. Are you trying to bumfuzzle or jargoggle?
We're really not.
Yeah, not sure what jargoggle means, but we're not trying to do whatever that means. The music when the gang are outside talking about driving to Giles's house has a lot of the same notes and chords as the Buffy Angel love theme. That's an interesting choice. Giles packs up weapons and gasoline.
The shot is beautiful. The camera moves around the space, mimicking the disorientation Giles feels. We see the chaos and destruction as Giles is gearing up to face Angel.
And the shot ends on a lovely, but not lovely. Drawing of Jenny. The three of us are at the factory with sunshine. You can hear the pup again making those unusual sounds. Then, fire, fire, fire. Giles comes in blazing. Literally. Spite won't let me join. In the top of the episode, Giles warned Buffy not to let Angel get to her. We now know that this was foreshadowing of his losing control, of his letting Angel get to him. Also, Buffy literally countered with the fact that Giles didn't have Angel lurking in his bedroom at night. And then, of course, he did have that happen. More foreshadowing.
Buffy comes in, and Giles is out cold near the flames. She goes after Angel with a whole new level of fight.
Buzzy and Angel have a lover's spat. Again, need to work on your worldview. Damn Fino, I'm flummoxed. Buffy does a kind of rope-a-dope with Angel against the railing, like Ali, which we talked about in Bewitched, Bothered and Bewildered, but not flummoxed enough to stop title yelling.
Unfortunately, nope. Angel calls Giles Buffy's old man when asking if she's going to let him burn.
He's distracting her with the question so that he can escape, but he's also pointing out that her obsession is making her single-focused, and it's making her not notice critical things. It's really touching when Giles and Buffy sob in a heap together.
They've both lost a lot. They're trying to keep each other afloat.
Buffy feels guilty. If she could have killed Angel when she had the chance, Jenny would still be alive. She thinks she's ready to kill him now. During the gravesite scene, it's Tony's voice singing the melody of the song, Remembering Jenny. I too get a bit choked up. I'm worried about spending so much time with the two of you. Ed Sheeran, who is a Buffy fan, a big Buffy fan from what I'm told, sampled Remembering Jenny in his song, A Fire Love. This episode inspired that song. Buffy's voiceover says that Angel is gone and nothing is ever going to bring him back. The gravesite scene is intercut with Willow at the head of the computer class. She got what she wanted in the worst way imaginable. She sets her stuff down on Jenny's desk and causes the floppy disk to fall between the cracks. There's a really cool slow motion shot of it.
Angel doesn't know about the disc or he would have destroyed it. Again, the importance of having backups.
Especially when restoring one's soul.
Yeah, I think that might be of the highest priority.
A biggie. Ending on the disc falling to a hidden spot does two things. It shows us that the disc won't be found for a while, and it plants the idea that it may be found in the future, so there could be a way to restore Angel's soul. Let's talk about the relatable theme. Love versus obsession seems to be the biggie in passion, not necessarily in the romantic sphere, but for me, love is so different from obsession. It feels different. If I'm obsessed to do something or obsessively thinking about something, it's relentless, on a loop. It feels coiled, fraught, intense, weighted, laborious. It feels like it has you in its grasp. Whereas love flows from and to you. It feels fluid, open, flowing, soaring, loose, light, easy. You're filled with love and passion, but consumed by obsession. It feels narrow versus broad. I remember when the therapist Robert, who helped me change my life for the better, said, "Love does not feel painful." In other words, the predominant feeling of love is not pain. I was stunned. This seems obvious to those raised with love, but for me and Dev and people with similar experiences, this can be revelatory, shocking. It was for me, and so helpful. What I was told was love was pain, so that was not the thing to emulate going forward. In work, some obsessive traits can have their place. A lot of people in entertainment have a degree of obsession, which is part of what carries us into and through making this a career choice. An attention to detail and unrelenting work ethic can be beneficial, but it's about balance. Dev and I were talking about passion, and we were discussing how everyone can relate to being involved with someone, and once you're in, significant problems become revealed. I was saying I don't think that it's a change, but that people present one thing and then the presentation wears off. But Dev brought up that some men have trouble with sustaining intimacy. He wasn't sure if that's a change or just camouflaged in the beginning. And I think fear of intimacy isn't limited to men.
I'm going to be sitting with what you just said for a while now. That was very interesting and insightful. And I'm going to rethink a few relationships because of it. So thank you.
What hit you most?
Just how the fear of intimacy can mask what we're really feeling. The actions of others can be based out of that fear and go to a place of obsession. A lot of times, what we think is love is more about ownership and possession. I was talking to someone the other day about growing up on fairy tales. And I think that we, especially as women, are taught that a certain type of love is what to expect and hope for.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times when you really look at these stories, it doesn't seem to be so much about love. It seems to be about ownership.
Not a genuine connection, a genuine exchange.
Everybody believes that they want to be chosen, they want to be claimed, they want to be won from the mountaintop, but that just makes you into a prize, not a person. So we go throughout life hoping that someone's going to notice us and win us and then carry us around on their shoulders like a trophy. And that isn't what love is.
Movies do that too.
They do. And I was trying to remember that passage in the Bible, love is patient, love is kind. And if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I always think that love is about being able to want the best for someone, even if it means that you're not what is best for them. It's a hard thing, but I think that that's truly what love is supposed to be about. Freeing, like you said, expanding, not contracting.
It's funny, you're making me think of one of my dance teachers from years ago, Nanette Charisse. She talked about movement and the fluidity of movement. And then she also would talk about her own relationship. And she was married to a man who was younger than her. And she likened their relationship, which was really wonderful and so tender and loving, to the idea that if you have sand in your hands and you try to grasp it, it will actually fall all the way through your fingers. But if you gently just let it rest there, it will stay there. So she would talk about that in relation to movement and letting it go and not being controlling. And then she would also apply it to life lessons.
It's so true. When you try to hold things with two hands, you usually end up with nothing.
And pushing away, that's the other thing. Like when you grasp at somebody or something, you invariably are actually pushing them away rather than bringing them toward you.
Makes me think of when they say that if somebody is drowning, they'll end up pulling somebody else down with them as opposed to helping their own rescue.
Or when they say water finds its level, so you rise together.
We're just going down a whole rabbit hole here.
We are. Awesome. So what is the line of dialogue from Passion, yes, that you would get as a tattoo?
When Angel says in the beginning,
passion rules us all, and we obey.
or when Spike says to Drew,
No fair going into the ring unless it tags you.
Mine are when Angel says,
Passion. It lies in all of us. Sleeping, waiting.
but not how he means it, only because the true sentiment could be that everyone can find passion. When Buffy asks Giles to find a spell to rescind Angel's invitation to her home and says,
Like a barrier, a no shoes, no pulse, no service kind of thing?
when the spell works and Buffy says,
Sorry, Angel. Change the locks.
and when Willow says to Xander,
We had kind of a pajama party sleepover with weapons thing.
I like when I try to feed Spike, making the plane sound and say,
Open up for mummy.
you always choose your own words. Well, they are the best. You know, I think we should get a puppy for a snack. Not happening.
no.
I don't see the problem with a pepperoni pizza. Oh, no, no, terrible.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Let's get ready to Buffy!
If you want to be considered as a contender for this season's trivia battle, please email revamppod@gmail.com. Yes, be sure to include your name, where you weigh in with your number of watch-throughs, where you're located, something interesting about you, or something that you think would be good to share, and
Your social media handles.
yes, woo, woo hoo, boop boop be Drew. Enough of something extremely different.
Different.
I was flown to New York to shoot a cover story and a layout in New York Times Magazine. It was profiling a ballerina, Wendy Whelan, an opera singer, Jesse Norman, and an actress, me. David Seidner was the photographer. He was the main photographer for Yves Saint Laurent for years. We worked together on a bunch of shoots. He would request me, and they were always super cool. The New York Times Mag profile was all very haute couture. Tiffany supplied the jewels, the dresses were extravagant. David shot each of us separately. I was staying at a friend's apartment on Christopher Street. It was a rent-controlled penthouse suite which had no air conditioning, and it was summer in Manhattan, so it was very, very, very hot. It was this white flat, white floors, white walls. There was a large mirror in the main room and a wraparound 180-degree terrace that looked out over the water. My friend had a friend named Krista who was subletting. I knew Krista, but not super well. She arranged with Krista my coming to stay for a couple of days. The first night, I was really tired from traveling, and I had an early call time, so I hit the hay pretty early. She set me up on the couch in the living room, and I had a great night. The second night, I got home from the shoot, and we decided to celebrate by ordering in and hanging out. We decided to try this Mexican restaurant that she hadn't tried before. The food arrived, and we had a lovely night eating, talking. It went on for hours. It was really, really fun. The food was delicious. It had spices I'd never tasted before, and it was yummy and great. We say goodnight. I tuck into the couch. 20 to 30 minutes later, I wake up with a burning sensation on every inch of my body. Insane, burning, itching. I start rabidly scratching, which does not help. It is intolerably uncomfortable. I throw the covers off. I jump off of the couch. I run to turn on the lights. I strip off my clothes in a flurry. I look down, and on every inch of my body, there are these enormous welts. I mean, at the allergy doctor, if 4 is the worst swelling in an allergy test, these are 10. I run to the bathroom, and I see that the only part of me that is not welted is my face. I'm relieved, but I'm so unbearably uncomfortable, and I'm also scared. I've never had anything like this happen, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what to do. I'm beside myself. I decide I'm going to wake Krista up. I'm not thinking about anything other than make this stop, please, please, just make this stop. I knock lightly because I feel bad waking her up. She doesn't stir. I knock again. Nothing. I start to pound a bit on the bedroom door. Still nothing. I hit harder and harder and harder, and the door suddenly jerks open. Now, you have to realize that I don't know Krista very well, and I'm standing there stark raving naked. Krista is half asleep. She sees me standing there in the buff, and I think she gets the wrong idea because she looks at me and she says, "Oh." And I say, "No, no, 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 no." And I start whining like, "Help, help, help." And I'm gesturing to my welts, "Help me, please help." And she focuses and she looks, and then all of a sudden she says, oh my God. So we call the emergency room, which is a really fun thing to do in Manhattan at 3:30 in the morning. And I know people say that New Yorkers are not nice, but I found the opposite. Needless to say, the man with the "I've seen everything and I have people with gunshot wounds to take care of" voice tells me to come into the hospital. I beg him to take 1 second so that I can describe what's been happening. And I remember I'm weeping. "Please, can I please?" And he finally relents and he's like, "Okay, you can tell me." I thank him profusely. I describe the occurrence and he intones allergic reaction. And he tells me to get Benadryl, and if the welts don't get better, to come into the hospital. I'm in no condition to put clothes on. I have been zealously, uncontrollably scratching the entire time. I'm on fire. I'm itchy way beyond any kind of reason. Krista offers to go to one of the small stores on the block that are open 24 hours. Gotta love New York City. She goes, she comes back pretty quickly with Benadryl. I take it. I tell her to go to sleep and that if it doesn't work, I'll wake her up again. I'm feeling really bad because she had to be up for work at 6 a.m. So she goes to bed. I pace for a bit. Then I lie down, and in about 20 minutes, the edge starts to come off just a tiny bit. Oh, thank God. And it goes from intolerable to just a tad less intolerable. About 10 more minutes go by, then 10 more minutes go by, the burn lessening, and then I must have drifted off to sleep. I wake up in the morning. The sun is shining through the huge windows. The cacophony of city sounds and sounds from the water are surrounding me. The previous night's events come flooding back. I jump up. I survey my skin, and the welts have completely vanished. There is not one single trace of anything at all. The skin had been so ugly and red and bumpy and blotchy and distorted, but it looks like none of it had ever happened, which was fantastic. Needless to say, Krista and I became friends. It was a weird and, in hindsight, funny way of us bonding. You know, I'm exceedingly allergic to something. Sunshine? Not the pup. Real sunshine? It does have deathly results, but way worse. Kills everything in its path. What is it? It rhymes with opinion, is very unruly, ruins every joke. Are you talking about me? I'm a great I am not a minion.
Bless you.
Curse me. I'll curse you, and not just for the sneeze. Stop that. Moving right along. All right, Rebecca, do you have a story with a rash?
I do, but it's not an itchy one. Years ago, during Clinton's second inauguration, I think it was, my mom decided that we were all going to go down to DC and see the inauguration. There were a bunch of concerts happening around it. So she thought it would be a lot of fun to try to hit all that, as well as seeing some of the museums. So the night before, we stayed in a hotel just outside of DC. But when I woke up in the morning, I was freezing for no reason whatsoever. I could not get warm. My hands started to turn bright red, and we couldn't figure out what was going on. But as far as everyone was concerned, if I wasn't in pain, it wasn't an emergency, and there were way too many of us to drag around to an emergency room. So my mom figured, well, we'll just see how the day goes. We'll get a cup of tea and you'll warm up and be fine.
Oh, no.
So we went to a couple of things. And again, we're standing outside in January, and I am just getting colder and colder. We go into a museum at one point. I'm holding a cup of tea and I can barely get my hands around it. My hands are now swollen, and I end up spilling this hot tea all over my lap, which is for a moment warm, but then again, extremely cold. So my mom quickly runs into a shop, buys another pair of pants for me. Again, hoping that things are going to get a little bit better. We go out on the street to watch the parades and everything, and I am just complaining that my hands are now burning and they're red and swollen, but the rest of me is still freezing. She pulls me into a CVS and buys a couple of things, takes my gloves off, and rubs Bengay all over my hands.
Oh.
With a little bit of icy hot thrown in for good measure. She shoves my gloves down on my hands and starts rubbing them together. I look at the label and it says, "Do not put on exposed skin."
Oh, no.
So now what was uncomfortable and cold is now my hands are on fire. She pulls the gloves off. I am in tears. We're in the bathroom trying to wash everything off. Now I can't even put my gloves on because I'm so cold. I honestly don't remember how it all resolved in the end. We did not have to go to the emergency room, but
Really?
the trip was definitely cut short because of it. And no idea what started it, no idea what ended it, but it was the most miserable time. And for the longest time afterwards, I refused to go to DC because I automatically associated it with complete and utter misery.
Oh, you're lucky, though.
Yeah, it could have been much, much worse.
Yeah, I wonder what it was that you had the reaction to.
I have no idea because everybody else was fine. But if there is an odd side effect that only 0.0001% of the population gets, it's going to be me.
Me too.
So that is
I
a
have
perfect
that
example
in
of
common
that.
with you. I have the same thing.
We're just special in a special way.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds miserable.
Yes, I don't recommend that one.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. One of a kind handmade concept jewelry from Eternal Craft is anchored in Gothic elegance. What are you doing? Oh, this is lovely. Oh, I want it. Where did you get it from? Drew, I was recording. You can't just walk in the middle of a session. Did you not see the red light? I thought it meant stop in and say hello. Anyway, Stephanie makes them with semi-precious stones and strong, powerful crystals. Ooh, I'm having a vision. These pieces are designed with their own unique identity, inspired by mythology, mysticism, art, music, and literature. Every piece is iconic, like me. Drew melody as always, but I have to agree with you about the jewelry. Minion Juliet, look in my eyes. No, stop trying to hypnotize me. It'll never work. They in me. Yes, mistress. Bring your credit card. Go to eternalcraft.org and buy me 2 of everything. Yes, mistress. I love recording sessions. Interview with the vampire. This evening's vampire question. Yes, mister.
Do you think some creatures like vampires are inherently good or evil?
What is good and what is evil? That goes under needing to adjust your worldview. Yes, I do. I think they are inherently evil. Although, as an actress, I never thought of playing Drew evil. Playing me? Sometimes I have no idea what you're on about. What I do know is sometimes I just need to eat. You both eat steak, right? Not Dev. He's vegan. Rebecca, what do you think?
I hate to say this, but I kind of agree with Drew. I don't think that vampires are necessarily good or evil. I think they're just doing what they're naturally made to do,
Yes,
if that makes sense.
completely. You know, I've been thinking about this worldview, and due to my masses of fans, it's actually a galactic view. Okay, I did get some gifts from Angelus. If I'd remained a human, my life in Victorian England would have been limited. Instead, I'm sat here with you 2 sods, but having a lot of fun. Perhaps my evolving galactic view is that there needs to be a lot more me in the picture. I don't think that that's a new view.
I don't either.
Why don't you keep soul searching? Don't got one.
Figuratively.
Well, I'll continue to think on it. One thing I know is that we have to sing.
Again?
As you know, our rendition of Elvis's Suspicious Minds caught us in a trap. Re-Vamped have been writing suggestions of Elvis songs for us to sing. Last episode, Azzy asked for Love Me Tender, Love Me Drew. Carrie Summers has written, Are you lonesome tonight? Can I come in for a bite? Ooh, 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 ooh. Sire Rebecca.
I hear the
Juliet. I want them tonight. Sire Rebecca. Juliet. Can I come in? I can't get that. Elvis. I just sound completely uncoordinated.
No. It requires jowls, dear. So that's why I can do it.
That's not why.
You need that pendulous feeling at the bottom of your face.
I'm shaking my jowls. All together now. Are you sorry I drank from your neck? Does your memory point to a colder winter night when I bit you and called you Sire Heart?
Elvis is rolling over in his grave.
I'm not picking up any Elvis fans. Here. I don't know what you're on about. This is fantastic.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Drew.
I actually think Drew might be better at this than I guess.
I tip my hat to you, Drew. I really, really do.
Oh my gosh, Revamptees, please correspond with me on our Patreon page, Revamped with Juliet Landau, Twitter @Juliet Landau, on Instagram @Juliet_Landau, and on the Fans of Juliet Landau Facebook group or Juliet Landau official Facebook page. Patreon peeps to be read in the credits: Dave Hall, Fawny June Kendall, Daniel Harbour, Louise Brennan, Brandon Key, Cameron Burton, Donnie Ruskin, Madeline Pruitt, Marion Stevenson, Antonio H. Gutierrez, and Bobby Pelham. It makes all the difference because we cannot keep making the show without you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Until we meet again.
Yes. See you next time when we do it again. Do it again. Until then, rewatch, revamp, reinvent, and be remarkable you. That's a wrap on passion. It is, but shh. Don't shush me. You're my minion, and it won't be tolerated. I'm not a minion.
It's another worldview thing.
From any view, Juliet will forever be my minion. Nope. It's time for some minionry. Fetch my scarf. Yes. Definitely more me. Drew, maybe we can have a little bit more of you guys too.